The unified Galactic Council gathered in their grand meeting hall. 200 alien species sat in rows that rose high into the air. The room buzzed with worried talk. Today they would decide the fate of a distant planet called Earth. High Counselor Zar-Tesh raised his 6 thin arms. The room fell silent. His blue skin glowed faintly in the dim light. "We are here to discuss the humans," he said. His voice echoed through the chamber. "Their technology grows too quickly. Our scouts report they are close to faster-than-light travel." On Earth, Admiral John Miller watched the stars from the bridge of the U.S. Defender. He didn't know aliens were watching him back. He didn't know they feared what humans might do if they reached the stars. "All systems check out," said his first officer. "The jump drive is ready for its first test." John nodded. "Good. If this works, everything changes." In New York, Lisa Grant sat at her desk. As Secretary General of the United Nations, she would announce the test results to the world. Her speech sat ready on her computer. She hoped she would get to use it. Back in the council chamber, a tall crystal being named Vexera stood up. Light bounced off her sharp edges as she spoke. "Humans are dangerous," she said. "They fight wars. They hurt their own planet. And they learn too fast. In just a few hundred years, they went from horses to spaceships. No other species has done this." She waved her crystal arm, and images appeared in the air. Humans fighting. Cities burning. Bombs falling. If they join us in space, they will not follow our rules. They will not stay in their place. We must control them now, before it's too late. Many council members nodded. Others looked worried. A small green alien named Trill spoke next. "But humans also make beautiful things. They care for each other. They try to be better." New images appeared. Humans helping after disasters, building great cities, making art and music. "We should welcome them as equals," Trill said. The room erupted in angry shouts. Zar-Tesh called for quiet. "We will vote on Protocol 7A. If passed, we will approach Earth, but with firm rules. Humans will be allowed limited space travel. Their military will be controlled. They will have council advisors making their big decisions." On Earth, the countdown began. "Jump drive powering up," called the engineer on the U.S. Defender. John Miller watched the energy readings climb. "Steady, steady." In her office, Lisa Grant got the call. "They're starting the test now, Madam Secretary." She nodded. "Keep me updated." In the council chamber, the vote came in. Protocol 7A passed with a huge majority. Only a few species voted against it. "It is decided," said Zar-Tesh. "Ambassador Kree-Lox will lead a mission to Earth. We will explain to the humans how they may join our community, with the proper limits." Kree-Lox, a tall alien with skin like polished metal, bowed. "I will prepare at once. The humans will understand this is for their own good." None of them knew it was already too late. On the U.S. Defender, alarms began to sound. "Energy readings off the chart," shouted the engineer. "The drive is pulling in more power than we expected." John grabbed his chair as the ship began to shake. "Can we stop it?" "No, sir. We're locked in." A blinding light filled the bridge. For a moment, everything seemed frozen. Then the stars outside the window changed position. "We did it," whispered John. "We jumped." On Earth, scientists stared at their screens in shock. The U.S. Defender had disappeared from Earth orbit and reappeared near Jupiter in seconds. Lisa Grant got the news as she was heading into a meeting. "It worked?" she asked, barely believing it. "Yes, Madam Secretary. Humanity has achieved faster-than-light travel." As she smiled, none of them knew that in a distant part of space, the Council's diplomatic fleet was already heading toward Earth, carrying news of the restrictions humanity would have to accept. 2 paths were set to collide. The Council had voted to control humanity, but humans had their own plans for their future among the stars, and they were not the helpless primitives the Council expected to find. Dr. Alan Carter had not slept in 24 hours. His eyes burned as he stared at his computer screen in NASA's Quantum Propulsion Laboratory. The Pathfinder mission was about to make history. "Final checks complete," said Commander Samantha Wells. Her voice was steady, but Alan could see the excitement in her eyes. She had trained for years to pilot humanity's first true faster-than-light ship. "All systems green," reported Lieutenant Frank Owens from across the room. "Quantum field stabilizers at full power." The Pathfinder was not just any ship. After the U.S. Defender's successful test jump, countries around the world had pooled their resources. They built this new ship in secret, designed for longer jumps and carrying a full crew. None of them knew that alien eyes were watching. In the depths of space, Ambassador Krelock stood on the bridge of the Council's largest diplomatic vessel. 5 other ships followed behind. They moved through special lanes in space that let them travel faster than light. "We will reach Earth in 6 hours," said his pilot. "The humans won't detect us until we choose to reveal ourselves." Krelock nodded. He had practiced his speech many times. He would tell the humans about the Great Galactic Council. He would explain the rules they must follow. He would make them understand their place in the galaxy. "Remember," he told his crew, "these are primitive beings. They will be shocked by our arrival. We must be patient with them." His words would soon seem very foolish. Back at NASA, Commander Wells climbed into the pilot's seat of the Pathfinder. Her crew took their positions around her. "Mission Control, this is Pathfinder," she said. "We are ready for jump sequence." Dr. Carter watched from the control room. "Good luck, Pathfinder. Make us proud." "Quantum drive activating," said Commander Wells. Power levels rising. The ship began to hum. Lights flickered as it drew massive power. "Something's different," said Lieutenant Owens suddenly. "The field is expanding faster than in our tests." Alan leaned forward. "What's happening?" "I don't know," said Owens. "It's like the drive is pulling in energy from somewhere else." In space, Krelock felt his ship shudder. "What was that?" he demanded. His science officer looked up in alarm. "Something is disrupting hyperspace. Our lane is becoming unstable." "Impossible," said Krelock. "Nothing can affect hyperspace lanes except—" He never finished his sentence. A blinding light filled the bridge. The ship lurched violently. Alarms screamed as crew members fell to the floor. When Krelock could see again, the hyperspace tunnel was gone. Stars shone around them. "Where are we?" he asked. His navigator checked the instruments. "We've been pulled into normal space. And this can't be right." "Tell me." "We're in orbit around Earth. We're already here." On the Pathfinder, Commander Wells gripped her controls as the ship shook. "Jump in progress," she shouted over the noise. "But something's wrong." The stars outside blurred, then snapped back into focus. "Jump complete," said Lieutenant Owens. "But we're not at our target. We're near Jupiter." Wells checked her instruments. "What happened to our course?" Back in mission control, alarms began to sound. "Dr. Carter," called one of the technicians, "we're picking up something in Earth orbit. Something big." Helen rushed to the screen. What he saw made his heart stop. "That's not one of ours," he whispered. Around the world, people looked up at the night sky. A massive ship had appeared in orbit, visible even to the naked eye. Military bases went on high alert. News channels broke into regular programming. Lisa Grant was woken by her aide. "Madam Secretary General, you need to see this now." She stared at the video feed in shock. "Is it hostile?" "We don't know. They're broadcasting some kind of signal, but we can't decode it yet." On the Council ship, Krelock watched in horror as his carefully planned first contact fell apart. "They're aiming weapons at us," reported his security chief. "Primitive weapons, but many of them." "Broadcast our peaceful intentions on all frequencies," ordered Krelock. "Tell them we come as friends." But the damage was done. The Council's careful plan for a controlled introduction was ruined. Their first meeting with humanity would not happen on their terms after all. And on the Pathfinder, As it orbited Jupiter, Commander Wells made a decision. "We're going back," she told her crew. "Earth needs us now." First contact had begun, but not how anyone had planned it. 3 days had passed since the alien ship appeared in Earth's sky. People had moved from fear to wonder. Now they waited to learn what these visitors wanted. Lisa Grant stood with her team at the airlock of the alien vessel. Dr. Alan Carter had been called back from Jupiter to join them. Commander Samantha Wells was there too, along with military officers and diplomats from many countries. "Remember," Lisa told the group quietly, "we stand for all humans today. Be respectful, but not weak." The airlock door slid open with a soft hiss. The humans held their breath. 5 alien beings stood in the corridor. Each looked completely different from the others. The one in front had skin like polished metal that caught the light. This was Ambassador Krelox. "Welcome," he said, his words changed to English by a small device on his chest. "We are honored to meet the representatives of Earth." The meeting room was large, with a round table in the center. The humans sat on one side, the aliens on the other. Both groups studied each other with open curiosity. Ambassador Krelox spoke first. He told the humans about the Unified Galactic Council and its 200-member species. He explained how they kept peace among the stars and helped younger races grow. "We have watched Earth for many years," he said. "Now that you are beginning to travel between stars, we invite you to join our great community." Lisa Grant smiled. "We are eager to learn about your cultures and share our own." Krelox's metal face showed no expression, but his voice changed slightly. "Of course, new members must follow certain rules while they learn. These rules are for everyone's safety." He handed out small tablets. The humans looked at the information on the screens. Their faces grew serious. Dr. Carter frowned as he read. "This says we can only settle 5 new planets in the next 100 years, and we need permission before we build any more ships." "These are standard measures," said Krelox smoothly. "All new species accept them." Commander Wells looked up from her tablet. "It also says we must reduce our military forces by 60% and allow council advisors to oversee our governments." "For guidance only," said Krelox, "to help you integrate properly." Lisa Grant set her tablet down carefully. "Ambassador, these terms would limit our freedom and growth. We cannot accept them." A tall crystal being on Krelox's right made a sharp sound. This was Counselor Vexera. "You misunderstand," she said. "This is not a negotiation. The Council has voted. Protocol 7A will be implemented for humanity's own good." The room grew tense. Dr. Carter looked closely at his tablet again. "I see references to Protocol 7A throughout this document," he said. "What exactly is this protocol?" The aliens looked at each other. Vexera finally answered. "It is our standard approach for species with concerning traits." "You mean dangerous species," said Commander Wells. "The Council has great experience bringing new civilizations into the community," Krelox said quickly. "These measures are temporary, until humanity proves." "Let me be clear." Lisa Grant stood up. "Earth will consider fair agreements between equals. We will not accept being controlled." The aliens seemed shocked. This was not how new species were supposed to react. "Perhaps you don't understand," said Vexera. "The Council oversees hundreds of species. These are not suggestions. They are requirements for joining the galactic community." Dr. Carter looked up from studying the tablet. "Your materials refer to our faster-than-light technology as theoretical. You didn't expect us to have it already, did you?" The silence answered his question. Lisa Grant's voice was firm but calm. "It seems we have surprised you. Good. Then understand this. Humanity will join your council as equals or not at all. We welcome friendship but reject control. We seek allies, not masters." The Earth team stood and walked out, leaving the aliens staring after them. Ambassador Krelox turned to his fellow aliens. "The Council must be informed immediately. The humans are not what we expected." "They are worse," said Vexera. "They cannot be controlled." What neither of them knew was that humans had been taking careful notes during the meeting. Earth was already planning its next move, and it would surprise the Council even more. News of the alien visitors spread quickly across Earth. At first, people were excited to learn they were not alone in the universe. But when details of the Council's rules became public, that excitement turned to anger. President Eric Daniels called world leaders to an emergency meeting in Washington, D.C. They gathered around a large table, faces serious. "They've been watching us for years," said President Daniels, "judging us, and they decided we need to be controlled. I find that very troubling." The Chinese leader nodded. "Their technology is impressive, but the price, giving up our freedom to grow and explore, is too high." Lisa Grant showed them all the information from the meetings with the aliens. "The Council seems mostly peaceful, but they treat younger species like children. They expect us to obey without question." Dr. Alan Carter had been studying the Council's technology. He spoke next. "They are advanced, yes, but not as much as they want us to think. Their faster-than-light travel is better than ours, but works on similar principles. And they've grown lazy. They didn't expect us to say no to their rules." At NASA, Commander Wells and her team looked at star maps the Council had shared. "Look at all these areas marked unclaimed," she said, pointing to large sections of the galaxy. "The Council hasn't even explored these regions. They're too far away or too difficult to reach." All around the world, humans did what they always did when faced with a challenge. They worked together. They made plans. They prepared for all possibilities. President Daniels met with Lisa Grant to discuss Earth's official answer to the Council. "We need to be firm but not hostile," he said. "We want them as friends, not enemies." Lisa nodded. "I think we should offer a different kind of relationship. Open trade, cultural exchange, and defense agreements, but no control over our development." When Ambassador Krelox received Earth's counteroffer, he couldn't believe it. "The Council has never. This is not how it works," he stammered, his metal skin changing colors with emotion. "Perhaps it's time for new ways of doing things," suggested Lisa. "While you take our proposal to the full Council, we would like to start a cultural exchange program, so our peoples can learn more about each other." What Krelox didn't know was that this cultural exchange would include carefully chosen soldiers, scientists, and spies. They would gather every bit of information possible about Council technology and weaknesses. As the Council ship prepared to leave Earth to report back, humanity began working on new plans. Some were for peace, others were for war, if it came to that. "They think they understand us from watching," President Daniels told his advisors, "but they've never actually dealt with humans before. They're about to learn what that means." In secret bases around the world, engineers studied the data from the Pathfinder's jump. They found that the quantum disturbance had pulled the Council ship out of its special travel lane. This was important information. It could be a weapon or a shield if needed. Dr. Carter worked day and night with scientists from many countries. "The Council thinks it will take us decades to understand their technology," he told his team. "Let's show them what humans can do when challenged." Commander Wells was put in charge of a new project. 3 more ships like Pathfinder were being built in secret. They would be ready to launch within weeks, not years. "Where will they go?" asked Lieutenant Owens as they reviewed the plans. "To the unclaimed star systems," said Commander Wells, pointing to the map. "The Council thinks they can keep us in our solar system. We're going to prove them wrong." As Ambassador Krelox's ship disappeared into the darkness of space, humanity was already preparing to spread to the stars. Not as servants of the Council, but as free people charting their own path. The Council had voted to control humanity. Humanity had other ideas. The emergency meeting of the Unified Galactic Council was the largest in many years. Aliens from all over the galaxy came to hear about the humans. Some traveled for weeks just to attend. Others appeared as moving images projected from their home worlds. Ambassador Krelox stood before them all, his metal skin dull with worry. "The humans rejected Protocol 7A completely," he said. "They demanded equal standing with full council members, despite being from just one planet, with basic faster-than-light travel." The room filled with shocked sounds and movements. High Counselor Zartesh raised his 6 arms for quiet. "Let us look at the facts calmly. Have the humans shown any direct aggression toward us?" "No," admitted Krelox. "But their military remained ready during all our talks, and they learned too quickly. After just days of seeing our technology database, they asked questions that showed deep understanding of ideas that took other species generations to master." Counselor Vexera stood up, her crystal body catching the light. "We must use Protocol 3C now. The humans must be contained before they spread. Their rejection of council authority proves they cannot be trusted." Protocol 3C meant putting a dangerous species under quarantine. The council had only used it twice before in all its history. Ambassador Ketal of the Andromeda spoke next. His people looked a little like tall, blue humans. "We oppose this. The humans have not attacked anyone. They have only stood up for their right to grow freely, as any thinking species should be able to do. Perhaps the problem is not with humanity, but with how the Council treats new species." This started a heated argument. For 3 days, the Council members debated. They watched recordings from the Earth meetings. They studied human history. They made predictions about what would happen if humans spread through space. As they argued, an interesting pattern appeared. Most of the newer council members supported the humans. Most of the oldest members wanted strict controls. "The council system has kept peace for thousands of years," argued an ancient alien with skin like tree bark. "We cannot let one new species break our rules." "Maybe our rules need to change," said a newer council member with 4 eyes. "The humans make good points about freedom." As the debate continued, news arrived that made things even more complicated. While the council was talking, humans had launched 3 more faster-than-light ships toward star systems that no one had claimed yet. "They're already expanding," cried Vexera. "While we talk, they act." Ketal studied the paths of the human ships. Notice they carefully avoided any systems claimed by council members. They're moving outward, yes, but respecting the space of others. This shows they are smart and careful. High Counselor Zartesh called for a break to think about all this information. As everyone left to talk with their home governments, he called his closest advisors to him. "In all my years, I've never seen a species like these humans," he said quietly. "They worry me, but they also interest me. They question things we haven't thought about in thousands of years." His chief advisor looked troubled. "Our predictions show that within 50 years, humans could spread far into the unclaimed regions. They have more babies and adapt faster than any known space-traveling species. We cannot contain them without directly attacking them. And such an attack would likely start a war," Zartesh said. When the council gathered again, everyone was tense. The vote on Protocol 3C was tied evenly, something that had never happened before in council history. As High Counselor Zartesh prepared to cast the deciding vote, the doors of the chamber opened. A young council helper rushed in, clearly excited. "High Counselor, sorry to interrupt, but we just got an urgent message. A human delegation has arrived at the station. They're asking to speak to the full council directly." The room went completely silent. "Impossible," whispered Vexera. "They couldn't have found our location or traveled here so quickly." "It seems," said Zartesh calmly, "that they did exactly that." He paused, then made a decision that would change the future of the galaxy. "Let them enter. The council will hear what humanity has to say." The big doors of the council room opened wide. 5 humans walked in, wearing neat black and blue clothes. They looked small compared to many of the alien beings, but they walked with confidence. Lisa Grant led the group. Dr. Alan Carter and Commander Samantha Wells were with her. Behind them came Joseph Martinez, Earth's new ambassador for space relations, and Dr. Nicole Patterson, who studied how different cultures interact. The humans walked down the middle path toward the speaking area. Hundreds of alien eyes watched them. Some aliens moved back in their seats, never having seen humans up close before. Others leaned forward with interest. High Counselor Zartesh spoke, his voice filling the large room. The Council recognizes the delegation from Earth. We are surprised you found us. The location of this station is kept secret. Lisa Grant stepped forward. Thank you, High Counselor. We apologize for coming without notice, but when we learned the Council was voting on rules that would affect Earth's future, we felt we needed to speak for ourselves. How did you find this station? Demanded Counselor Vexra, her crystal body shaking with anger. Dr. Carter answered honestly. We studied the energy trail left by Ambassador Krelox's ship and created a math formula to find its most likely destination. Our new ship, Endeavor, followed that trail here. The aliens started talking all at once. What the humans described so simply was something that should have taken years to figure out, not days. You may speak, Secretary General, said Zartesh, his many eyes blinking rapidly. The Council will hear Earth's position. Lisa Grant looked around the room, trying to make eye contact with as many aliens as possible. Respected members of the Galactic Council, I come to you not to challenge your authority, but to introduce humanity, not as subjects to be controlled, but as partners in the galactic community. She pointed to a large screen behind her, which lit up to show scenes from Earth. Children playing in parks, scientists working in labs, artists creating beautiful things, and people of all colors working together on big projects. Yes, our history has violence and mistakes. We don't deny this, but it also has triumph over hard times, learning from failures and constant growth. You've seen our wars, but did you also see how after each war, we built stronger connections between nations and worked together more closely? Watching is not the same as understanding, added Dr. Patterson. Stepping forward, you've observed us, but you haven't lived with us. You haven't experienced human creativity, toughness, and our drive to be better. Ambassador Martinez spoke about legal matters. Your Protocol 7A assumes humanity needs outside guidance. We respectfully disagree. We propose instead Treaty Framework 12, which we created based on our study of Council records. It makes Earth an independent associate of the Council, with shared defense agreements, open trade, and science cooperation, without limits on our development. Many aliens seemed shocked that humans would write their own Council treaty, and use Council records to do it. Commander Wells then delivered the part that had the most impact. While your Council debated containing us, we launched exploration missions to 3 empty star systems that no one has claimed. These missions carry not weapons, but scientists, farmers, and families, people looking for new homes and knowledge. This is who we are. The screen showed the human ships. They were small by Council standards, but impressive for a species so new to faster-than-light travel. Humanity will explore and expand, said Lisa Grant, her voice growing stronger. This is our nature, but we do so with respect for established territories and civilizations. We want to learn, trade, and add to galactic knowledge. She paused, then made her most important point. The question before you isn't whether to control humanity, it's whether to partner with us. The first path leads to certain conflict. The second opens possibilities neither of us can fully imagine yet. Dr. Carter finished with a demonstration that left the Council room in stunned silence, a technical overview of 3 human inventions developed just in the weeks since first contact, including improvements to faster-than-light technology that even some of the older Council species found impressive. As the human delegation finished speaking, High Counselor Zartesh called for a short break. The Council room erupted in excited talk the moment the humans were let out. They're either the most arrogant species we've ever met, muttered Vexera to her allies, or the most promising. Ambassador Ketal watched the humans leave with clear admiration. Perhaps, he said quietly, they are both. 27 hours after the humans spoke to the Council, they were called back to hear the decision. It had been the longest debate in Council history. Some species had argued through the night. The human team stood calmly as they entered the grand chamber again. In their waiting time, they had not been idle. They had talked with many different Council species, especially those who had shown support for Earth's position. The Unified Galactic Council has reached a decision regarding Earth's status, announced High Counselor Zartesh, his voice carrying across the silent room. By the narrowest margin ever, the Council has rejected Protocol 7A and Protocol 3C. Instead, we will accept a modified version of the treaty that humanity proposed. A wave of reaction moved through the room. Shock from the older species, approval from the younger ones. Earth will be recognized as an independent associate of the Council. You will have the right to settle unclaimed star systems if you follow the same rules about protecting native life and developing responsibly that all Council members follow. Lisa Grant and her team kept their faces calm, but you could see the relief in their eyes. Zartesh continued, however, the Council requires some assurances. A communication station will be placed in your solar system, not to control you, but to help with contact and cooperation. Also, human expansion will be limited to 12 specific sectors for the first 50 years, after which we will review the arrangement. Ambassador Martinez stepped forward. These terms are acceptable to Earth, as long as the station is operated by both humans and Council members, and all information is shared openly. Agreed, said Zartesh, surprising many with how quickly he accepted the human condition. The signing ceremony that followed was broadcast across all Council space. For many alien species, it was their first look at humans, and at the unprecedented concessions these newcomers had secured. As the ceremony ended, Counselor Vexera approached Dr. Carter. "You should understand," she said, her translator converting her musical language to English. "Many of us still consider humanity potentially dangerous." "That's fair," Carter replied with a smile. "Many of us consider ourselves potentially dangerous too. The difference is, we work every day to use that potential for creating rather than destroying. Perhaps we can show you how we do that." 6 months later, the effects of humanity joining galactic society were becoming clear. Human diplomats, scientists, and traders spread throughout Council space, building relationships with dozens of species. The first joint Human-Council science mission left for the center of the galaxy, while human farming methods helped solve food shortages on 2 Council worlds. On New Horizon, the first human colony outside our solar system, Commander Wells watched human and alien scientists working together on an environmental project. "They said we needed to be controlled," she remarked to Dr. Patterson, who was recording this first cooperation between species on a colony world. "They didn't understand us," the anthropologist replied. "They saw our capacity for violence without recognizing that the same adaptability that makes us dangerous also makes us excellent problem solvers. They feared our independence without seeing how it drives innovation." In the Council chamber, now forever changed by what humans had done, High Counselor Zartesh and Ambassador Joseph Martinez finalized plans for the first Galactic Summit to be held on Earth the following year. An event that would bring representatives from all Council species to humanity's home planet. "Some still question my tie-breaking vote," Zartesh admitted privately. "They believe I've destroyed the Council's authority. Or perhaps," Martine suggested, "you've made it stronger. The Council was created to bring different viewpoints together for common goals, wasn't it? Somewhere along the way, unity became uniformity. Humans just reminded you of the difference." Across the galaxy, other species watched humans with new courage. Several that had been under Protocol 7A for generations began formally asking for status changes, citing the Earth precedent. On the Endeavour, returning from its successful mission, Secretary General Lisa Grant recorded her final notes before going back to Earth. "When the Council voted to control humanity, they made a basic mistake. They judged us by our past rather than our potential. They tried to contain what they should have embraced. By walking into their chamber uninvited, we forced them to see us as we truly are, not just another species to be managed, but partners in shaping the galaxy's future. The Council thought they were voting on humanity's fate, but in reality, humanity had already decided its own path among the stars. All we needed to do was show them who we really are.